Okay, so here's an example where we get to find a flow rate in drops per minute for a child. So if we have an order to give drug A 20 milligrams for a child, and it comes available drug A that 20 milligrams is in a 5 milliliter vial. It says to dilute it to 50 milliliters and administer in 2 hours. So what is the flow rate in drops per minute? Okay, so the drops per minute means that this is going to be a gravity feed, okay, and which means we're going to have a drop factor, but they didn't specifically state anything. So we kind of have to read between the lines and decide that this is for a child, which means we're going to use a micro drip. Okay, with all children, you use the micro drip set, and that's the one that has a drop factor of 60 drops per 1 mil. Okay, the macro drip with an A, that one has a drop factor of 20, 15, or 10 drops per milliliter, but the micro drip is only got a drop factor of 60, okay? And we use that with children. Sometimes you also see it used with the older people, the geriatrics as well. But anytime you're working a gravity feed for a child, you can use the micro drip as a drop factor of 60. Okay, so desired answer is drops per minute. Okay, so let's start with that, which means our first fraction needs to have drops at the top. The problem itself didn't say anything about it, but again, the micro drip set we know has a drop factor of 60 drops per 1 mil. Okay, so we're going to stack that in here. And it's always figured such and such drops per 1 milliliter. Okay, students usually have a tendency to put it as it drops over a minute because that's what we're looking for. But that's not what the drop factor represents. It's saying that it takes 1 milliliter fluid and splits it into 60 drops. Okay, so 60 drops in 1 mil. Now that puts milliliters at the bottom, which means we need milliliters at the top. And they gave us two kind of milliliters. They said that the 20 milligrams is in 5 mil, but we're supposed to dilute it up to 50 mils. Okay, and that 50 mils is supposed to take 2 hours. So the 5 mil is not going to do us any good here. That's not actually all the fluid we're giving. We actually have to give 50 milliliters of fluid. It does contain the whole 20 milligrams, so I don't think we're going to have to use the milligram measurements here. We can just jump with our 50 milliliters, and we can pair it with the 2 hours because we are going to have to get some time in here somewhere anyways. So let's just go ahead and say 50 milliliters is supposed to take 2 hours. Now, we're not quite finished yet, okay? If you think about our units here, the milliliters get to cancel, but we have drops per hour, and we need drops per minute. So we do need this little extra conversion here that takes hours to minutes so that we can cancel out the hours, cancel out the milliliters. You have drops on top, minute on bottom. So that's our setup here. And now we can think about doing the math. 60 times 50 is 3,000. 2 times 60 is 120. So it should work out to give us 25 drops per minute. And remember, if you do get a decimal here, you want to go ahead and round to a whole number because nobody's counting a piece of a drop. Okay, so just, like I said, go ahead and round it to a whole number if you do get a decimal.